Author's Preface of The Awkward Age. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Anna Simon. The Awkward Age by Henry James. Author's Preface. I recall with perfect ease the idea in which The Awkward Age had its origin, but reperusal gives me pause in respect to naming it. This composition, as it stands, makes to my vision, and will have made perhaps still more to that of its readers, so considerable a mass beside the germ sunk in it, and still possibly distinguishable, that I am half moved to leave my small secret undivulged. I shall encounter, I think, in the course of this copious commentary, no better example, and none on behalf of which I shall venture to invite more interest, of the quite incalculable tendency of a mere grain of subject matter to expand and develop and cover the ground when conditions happen to favour it. I say all, surely, when I speak of the thing as planned, in perfect good faith, for brevity, for levity, for simplicity, for jocosity, in fine, and for an accommodating irony. I invoked for my protection the spirit of the lightest comedy, but The Awkward Age was to belong, in the event, to a group of productions here reintroduced which have in common, to their author's eyes, the endearing sign that they asserted in each case an unforeseen principle of growth. They were projected as small things, yet had finally to be provided for as comparative monsters. That is my own title for them, though I should perhaps resent it if applied by another critic, above all in the case of the piece before us, the careful measure of which I have just freshly taken. The result of this consideration has been in the first place to render sharp for me again the interest of the whole process thus illustrated, and in the second quite to place me on unexpectedly good terms with the work itself. As I scan my list, I encounter none the history of which embodies a greater number of curious truths, or of truths at least by which I found contemplation more enlivened. The thing done and dismissed as ever at the best for the ambitious workman, a trick of looking dead, if not buried, so that he almost throbs with ecstasy when, on an anxious review, the flush of life reappears. It is verily on recognizing that flush on a whole side of The Awkward Age that I brand it all, but ever so tenderly, as monstrous, which is but my way of noting the quantity of finish it stows away. Since I speak so undauntedly, when need is, of the value of composition, I shall not beat about the bush to claim for these pages the maximum of that advantage. If such a feat be possible in this field as really taking a lesson from one's own adventure, I feel I have now not failed of it. To so much more demonstration of my profit than I can hope to carry through do I find myself urged. Thus it is that, still with a remnant of self-respect, or at least of sanity, one may turn to complacency, one may linger with pride. Let my pride provoke a frown till I justify it, which, though with more matters to be noted here than I have room for, I shall accordingly proceed to do. Yet I must first make a brave face, no doubt, and present in its native humility my scant but quite ponderable germ. The seed sprouted in that vast nursery of sharp appeals and concrete images which calls itself, for blessed convenience, London. It fell even into the order of the minor social phenomena with which, as fruit for the observer, that mightiest of the trees of suggestion bristles. It was not, no doubt, a fine purple peach, but it might pass for a round ripe plum, the note one had inevitably had to take of the difference made in certain friendly houses and for certain flourishing mothers by the sometimes dreaded, often delayed, but never fully arrested, coming to the forefront of some vague slip of a daughter. For such mild revolutions as these not, to one's imagination, to remain mild, one had had, I dare say, to be infinitely addicted to noticing, under the rule of that secret vice, or that unfair advantage, at any rate, the sitting downstairs, from a given date, of the merciless maiden previously perched aloft, could easily be felt as a crisis. This crisis, and the sense for it in those whom it most concerns, has to confess itself courageously the prime propulsive force of the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?